Dan Illman, Matt Bernier. The feature race at Santa Anita on Sunday is the Grade 3 Tokyo City Cup. We're going 1.5 miles on the dirt. Great racing all weekend long. Make sure you get involved with a DRF Bets account. Sign up, deposit $100, bet with $250. Bets.drf.com is where you need to go. Let's meet this short field for the Tokyo City Cup. We only got a field of 5, but we do have some distance specialists with credentials, beginning with the #1 Campaign, who is a winner at 1.5 miles on turf and is wheeling back on 8 days rest after a pretty good effort in the big cap behind some big names.
Yeah, he was far from embarrassed. I gave him a chance last week, just with the off possibility that the top 2 finishers, they didn't want to see out the distance, and I knew that Campaign wanted to run all day. Again, just from a class standpoint, Giftbox and McKinsey are just at a different level than any of these horses are. I just found it, an interesting move that he was supplemented to this race, knowing that you're wheeling back in 6 days and you're stretching out an extra 1/4 mile. If the Santa Anita handicap didn't take too much out of him, you have to view him as a major player.
And in watching the big cap, he was just outclassed by horses like Giftbox and McKinsey, and the pace didn't help either. It's not like they were going at all, and this horse just doesn't have any early speed. He's kind of a plodding type. He will stay. He was far behind. Once he swung into the stretch, it looked like he was running at the end of the race. I have no qualms about the 1.5 miles. I am interested to see where he'll be on the Timeform US pace projector going 1.5 miles, because in races like this, I guess you're always worried about the chance in a short field of a horse stealing the race on the front end. And the #2 Acker, who was just claimed by John Sadler, who also claims Campaign, is in raging form. He's won his last 4 races. I'm a little concerned about the distance, and the field he beat last time in an off-the-turf race was basically a bunch of turf horses. I'm not convinced that dirt against good horses is his surface, but he's sharp and he's speed.
Yeah, and really that's kind of what it boils down to. If you're trying to make a case for this horse, the distance is an unknown, the class is an unknown. Is he this good as far as dirt is concerned, because he's predominantly been campaigned on the grass? I think the case here is what the pace projector suggests. He's going out there and you just say, come and catch me. You're going to go as long as you possibly can until potentially you hit the wall. And who knows, we have seen it time and time again in these marathon races. You let a horse just kind of lollygag out there on the front, he can be a little bit difficult to run down if they can see out the distance.
So Sadler's got the pace projector bookended with the speed in Acker and the closer in Campaign. And getting back to Campaign quickly, here's a formulator fact for trainer Sadler, who's had some real nice horses over the past few years. Past 5 years, older horses going second off the layoff in graded stake dirt route at Santa Anita, 33%, $3.41 ROI. I'm sure a horse named Accelerate helped that out just a little bit. We'll move on to the #3. That's Full of Luck, going out for Jerry Hollendorfer. And this horse ran 1.25 miles, 1.5 miles, no problem in his native Chile. Got a little bit of class relief last time out, moving to the synthetic surface at Golden Gate Fields, and was able to show some surprising early speed that day. Maybe he can be closer, stretching back out to 1.5 miles. Interesting formulator fact for Hollendorfer concerning Full of Luck. Past 3 years, older last out winners moving from synthetic to dirt, 36% winners, 10 of 14 on the board, a 4.04 ROI, just a little bit slow on paper.
Slow on paper. This is just sort of a question for anyone. I look at this horse and I see what he did when he was in Chile, and it was all long distance races on grass. And he comes here to the United States. He's run on turf twice, once at 1 mile, once at 1 mile and a 16th. His only win to date came on synthetic, yet he's run on dirt 4 different times against arguably the best of the best. You've got an Accelerate in there, you've got Axeman in there. Why has he not been tried going long on turf, which to me is basically what he's done throughout his career when he's done his best running? I don't know. It seems a little bit curious to me, but again, Jerry Hollendorfer knows a heck of a lot more than I do. In this spot, the distance might not be an issue. I don't know if he's good enough, though.
Arch Prince looks like a really shrewd claim for $32,000 by trainer Brian Coroner. Has hit the board in his last 3 races. Another horse moving from synthetic to dirt. The distance is the big question here. Now, progeny of Arch usually appreciate distance, but I'm not sure about the 1.5 miles. I think the connections are not sure about the 1.5 miles. I think they're hoping for the best and maybe hoping for a graded stakes placing in a nice pot race.
Yeah, and I think there's really a chance, too, where depending on how Quinones wants to play this thing, you could be a little bit more forwardly placed, I think, than he has been in some of those shorter races. At 1.5 miles stretching out, I think he can get up there, perhaps hit that pressing pressing kind of trip where if Acker can't see out the distance, maybe Arch Prince can inherit it. Maybe he's not good enough and maybe he can't see out the distance, but he should work out a good trip.
The horse to beat, though, is Beach View on the outside, going out for trainer Leonard Powell. The last time this horse raced a 1.5 miles on the dirt, he won the Cougar the second handicap. Just a beautiful trip and ride by Rafael Bejarano, saving ground, shooting through along the inside, and beating a nice horse in Opportunity. The last time he raced on dirt was the Grade 2 San Antonio. A, the distance was too short. B, he was in against Gift Box and Battle of Midway, two of the better handicap horses in Southern California at the time. His recent turf form is good. Isn't he just way the horse to beat?
Yeah, I like him. I think he's just a cool, honest horse. He shows up and runs his race. 1.5 miles, dirt, turf, doesn't matter. He's going to show up and come with his bid. I'm going to be curious to see how Flavien Prat plays this horse and plays the break, because in some of those longer distance dirt races, he hasn't come from as far out of it as he has on turf. And I do wonder if that's going to play out here in this race, given it's a short field, given there seems to be a lack of speed. I wonder if you get him into the run a little bit earlier, because if you believe Campaign is the other horse in this spot, you probably want to get the jump on him.
Couldn't agree with you more, and I think he will get the jump on Campaign at some point in this race. We take a look at our top picks for the Grade 3 Tokyo City Cup. You're going with Acker. You love speed in short fields at long-distance races. And listen, you're getting a sharp horse, and you're getting a big price.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where we've seen it time and time again. It's probably part of the reason that the Belmont Stakes is my favorite of the Triple Crown races, where there is a little bit more strategy, I think, that goes into it, because it is such a long sort of unknown. It's a long distance that a lot of these horses are unaccustomed to going. And you know what? I respect Campaign. I like him a lot. Again, I picked him in the big cap last week. I think there's a good chance for him to win here. I love Beachview. I've liked him in basically all of his starts this year. I just want to give the sort of lone speed kind of a chance here to get brave on the front end.
And it would be nice to see the great Victor Espinoza get back into the winner's circle and in a big race after the injuries he suffered recently. Give me numbers.
Really, I went 2-5, but it could easily be 2-1. Basically, I'm looking at those two horses, the two to beat. I would play them either way in second or third.
If Campaign doesn't fall too far behind in this race, I think he's going to make a strong late run. I actually like that Sadler's wheeling him back in 8 days. I think he's got this horse feeling good right now. It was a good effort last time out. I'm going 1-5-2 in the Grade 3 Tokyo City Cup. It is your feature race at Santa Anita on Sunday. Great racing across the country all weekend long. Make sure you get down with a DRF Bets account, because when you deposit $100, you get to bet with $250. With DRF Bets, it's as easy as ready, set, bet. An approximate post time for the Tokyo City Cup, 3:30 Pacific. Best of luck.